just looking in on the deck. They're so funny. They respond every time the rooster crows. We definitely got one boy, the mallard-looking one, obviously. It's a boy because of his green head color and the curl on his tail. But we're not sure about any of the others still. The Muscovy are really hard to tell. And then the other two, I don't even know what breeds they are. These were all rescues, so they were rescued at different times. Except for the Muscovies, they were all together. But we'll see. Hopefully we see some eggs starting to be laid soon. That would be pretty cool. Would love to have some duck eggs. These are our 2 juvenile buzzards. They were hatched up in the roof of the old house sometime this spring. We saw Mom and Dad going in and out. And then these 2 little guys, if you can see the little fuzzy feathers on the tips of their wings and around their heads, that's because they're just babies. And I think they're precious and cute. And they don't bother the chickens. They don't bother the ducks. They are scavengers for dead animals. They do not prey on live animals. So they're great to have around the homestead to keep it clean and free of debris. But look at those little fluffy feathers around their heads. They're probably going to fly off as I get closer. I'm just going to come over here and check on Rescue Squad. Hi, Buzzards. Look at, see the little fluffy furry feathers? They're just babies. Just sweet little babies. They're huge, but... And they just go up in the tree. Mind their own business. They're my buddies. I like them. Chicken right here is the reason why I was coming to check on Rescue Squad. Ryan said he saw what looked like scabs under her wing. Now, her bare back and her pin feathers on her wings were like that because she was with too many roosters when we rescued her. But under her wing, he saw black scabs. So I need to check and make sure that they are healing okay and that I didn't miss something on my initial take-in. But the good news is, because we've had them locked down because of running away with the rooster, we now have eggs. So wherever they were hiding them while they were loose, they're not hiding them anymore. They have no choice to lay them here. But we are building their big chicken tractor on Ryan's next day off. So I'm going to try to squeeze in there without letting anybody out and check out that scab. I can see it just sticking out, and I want to make sure it's okay. While it does appear to be a very large, very big scab, I have to say that it looks good. It's healing over. It's not red around the edges. It's not swollen. It's not hot. It looks like it's just healing. So for now, I'm not going to do anything about it. If the other chickens start to notice it and want to peck at it, then that could be an issue and we would have to separate her. But for now, because it has no redness, it's not a fresh wound. It's healed over already. Whenever it happened, I'm not sure. But it's healing on its own. So we're not going to mess with it. We're going to let it be. And keep a close eye. Make sure that it doesn't get worse or get infected. And that's that. So, I have some bad news. Something that I checked on yesterday was the honeybees. Because my last inspection, I found one of the hives had a wax moth and hive beetle infestation. It was pretty bad, and I did what I could to remove as many of the living creatures that weren't supposed to be in there out and dispose of them and cleaned up and to give the bees a fighting chance. But I was a little concerned that we were going to lose the hive anyway because it was pretty far gone. So the other hive looked great. Nothing in there. It was in perfect health. So that was good. Well, yesterday, I walked down to where our honeybee hives are, and there was nothing. No bees going in or out. At all. This isn't even a week later. So, that's bad. That means they're gone. Whether they swarmed, or they were robbed, or what, I'm not really sure. I wasn't suited up. I was just walking down there to look and see if there was more debris on the landing pad, and see if they were taking care of the rest of the wax moths. And found out that I have no more bees. So what I'm going to have to do is get suited up just in case there's anybody left in there, and open them up and really go through and figure out what happened and why, and try to do my best to not let it happen again. We are not giving up on bees. This is not something that's going to deter me. I'm going to get bees again in the spring and start over. We've got all the equipment. I'm going to go through and freeze all of the equipment and make sure that there's no wax moth larvae or eggs or anything. I feel like that was one of our biggest hits this year, was that we bought used equipment that could have had wax moth larvae, but it was the only equipment we could really afford. It's really expensive to start bees, and we were reassured that a healthy hive could handle a few wax moths. That apparently not. So lesson learned: don't trust a healthy hive to fight off wax moth. It's not going to happen. Well, it could happen, but don't take that risk. Not on a new hive. But we are going to learn from this, and we're going to move forward. So these goats have been giving me a fit today. Fancy girls in heat, so we are keeping Bo, her son, away from her. That's why we've always kept them separated in the two paddocks since he was mature. But the problem is Eugene and Bo have broke down this fence a couple of times now, despite the fact that they get shocked to get over into there. So the last time I came up here and hammered it in, it looks like it's holding, although it does look a little slack. And the weird thing is somehow little Spice is over here on this side instead of over with her mama and her sister. So, not sure how that happened. She must have somehow, I guess, shimmied her little body underneath without getting zapped. So I'm going to turn off the fence and fix that. Eugene wants some love. Yeah, I do. And Fancy do. Fancy wants love. These goats are like dogs. They just love to be loved on. Oh, yes. Don't get too close. You're going to get zapped. Don't get too close. Don't. Gotta be careful, buddy. You be careful too, Fancy. My love bugs. So another thing that I get asked often is, how do you feed such a big family with such healthy food when organic costs so much, and that kind of food is expensive? It's not really that much of a difference. First of all, though, I do bargain shop. I go through the store and I look for those managers' discount stickers in every section. So for tonight's dinner, we have grass-fed beef and antibiotic-free turkey, ground turkey, and ground beef that I'm mixing together, a pound of each, and I'm going to add some oats, some eggs, some seasoning, a little of this, a little of that, and we're going to have meatloaf. And we have our own canned tomatoes to add to it and use as a topping. So when you grow most of your food, you save a lot of money. But you also can save a lot of money by bargain shopping and making sure that you're looking for those discounted items and stock up on them. You throw that meat in the freezer and it's good for a while in the freezer. So whenever I see 5 packages of ground beef marked down to $4 instead of the normal $7.50, yeah, I buy all 5 of them and I put them in the freezer, and then we have them when we need them for meatloaf, chili, spaghetti sauce, whatever. So it's good stuff. Alright, so I have my meats mixed together. Add egg, add some chopped onion, add some chopped garlic, some Bragg's amino liquid aminos, some oatmeal, and some salt blend. That's it. Just stir that up, and that's my meatloaf. And then I'm cooking down our canned tomatoes with some salt and pepper. And I'm just going to leave those pretty plain. I'm going to add some of the onions and garlic to it and simmer that as well. And then I'm cooking some rice as a side dish. I've got the meat formed into 2 loaves in my Dutch oven cast iron pan. Then I'm going to put it in the oven. And you see my sauce is simmering down, and I added some butter to it. If you've never added butter to your sauce, you've been missing out. My friend Martha taught me that. It is so delicious. And it's good butter, so it's okay. Butter's good for you. And here is the finished product. Good. Yum, yum.
Oh, you know, just going to take the goats in. Little messy face, didn't even get his face washed. He was supposed to stay with his brother and get cleaned up, but he chased me out the door. So he gets to go with me to put the goats up. He loves those goats. You see them goats? That's what they say. What do the goats say? Yeah.